I wanted to talk about how to end the cleanse. This is a very important part of the Total Life Cleanse. In my book, Total Life Cleanse, there's a nice section on that, so be sure to read that a few times. How we end the cleanse can be as or even more important than how we do the cleanse itself. The reason I say that is because ending a cleanse can make it or break it. It can really impact your whole experience of the cleanse. What we don't want to do is end the cleanse and all of a sudden, first night, go and have pizza and ice cream. Not a good idea. When we cleanse, we create a window of opportunity that is actually quite rare in our life. What that means is that you go for 21, 28 days with no wheat, no dairy, no sugar, no coffee, no intoxication, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no wine, okay? So we're really eating extremely clean for all those days. And we've also removed the foods that are the common food sensitivities, okay? Even nightshades, even most citrus, things like that. So it's a window of opportunity, and you want to use the last week of the cleanse to really find out what foods you might be sensitive to, okay? So what I recommend is that bring back only one food at a time. There are foods that you never have to really bring back. I mean, you don't have to bring back white refined sugar. You don't have to bring back alcohol. But many people will bring back alcohol to some degree. They will bring back white sugar to some degree. But we can see how our body really responds to these things if you do it correctly. So the formula is, for 3 days, only eat one food that you're bringing back. For instance, say you want to find out if wheat is a problem for you. You can have wheat on Monday. If you don't notice anything, have it on Tuesday. If you don't notice any negative side effects, have it on Wednesday. If you don't notice anything then you wait 3 days without having any other cleanse food that was off the cleanse. Like, you don't bring in dairy, you don't bring in sugar. If after 3 more days you really don't have any negative effects whatsoever, which I'll go over in a minute, then you can be pretty sure that wheat is not a food problem for you. Then, after those 3 days are over, you can bring back dairy. See how that affects you if that's what you choose to do. Okay? You can bring back coffee in the same way. The problem is, what sometimes people do is they'll have a cookie that has wheat, dairy, and sugar, and then you feel a little lousy in a couple days and you don't know what it is. You have no idea what the problem is. Okay, so that's really, really important, how we bring things back. So I want to talk about for a minute now is, what are the symptoms you want to look for? Most people think that if I have a food sensitivity, that means I have to have a gastrointestinal effect. That means gas, bloating, loose bowels, constipation, something like that. It doesn't always happen that way. In fact, generally, only 2 out of 7 people that were tested have a sensitivity to wheat in their stomach. Most of the time, it's in their brain, it's in their mood, and it's in their nervous system. And this is what science is showing us now. So it doesn't have to show up just in the gut, and that's a big misconception. So in other words, if you have if you have wheat on Monday, and on Wednesday you're feeling kind of grumpy and low and tired and fatigued and lacking clarity in your mind, it very well could have been wheat. And you have to wait a few days, because sensitivities can be immediate and they can be what's called delayed sensitivities. And a lot of doctors out there don't really look for the delayed sensitivities. This is very, very important. So the same thing with dairy. A lot of sensitivities. For instance, you can have gastrointestinal problems, but you can have lethargy, you can have stiffness, you can have low mood, you can have achy joints, you can have congestion, you can have itchiness in the skin, you can have irritability. All these things can be caused by food sensitivities. The first time I did a cleanse, when it was about in the 80s, I remember after about 9 weeks, because I cleansed for about 9 weeks, I ate some wheat. And what I noticed was a little bit of phlegm in the back of my throat, a little itchiness in my throat. And I never ever knew that I was sensitive to wheat, but after 9 weeks I hadn't experienced that feeling And about 10 minutes after I had the wheat, I got that itchy feeling, and I was like, oh my gosh, for 9 weeks I haven't had it. And that's what wheat, I have a sensitivity to wheat. There were other things that it was causing too, many, many things. So you really have to be aware that it's not just about your digestion. In many cases it is, but oftentimes it's mental clarity, it's your mood, it's how you're feeling that is a result of a food sensitivity. And again, it can also be stiff joints, it can be achiness, it can be fatigue, things like that. So these are all very important. So 3 days on a food, wait for 3 days, 3 days on another food, wait for 3 days. Okay, that is the best way. You have a window of opportunity with cleansing, and I really highly suggest you don't blow that opportunity by bringing all the foods back in at once. Thanks a lot.